morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I just came back from Japan to spend my 2 weeks vacation. I came back 2 days ago. 2 days ago, yeah. And it was, nice seeing my parents, my friends, and I realized how worried my parents were. So they were like, soon when we met at the airport, they were like, touching my body and saying, are you alright? Are you eating? And it's like treating me as a child. I was kind of embarrassed at the airport, but it was, I really had a great time. But one thing is the jet lag. When I came back, I flew from an airport, which is called the Kansai International Airport, and it took like 10 hours, and I landed on San Francisco, and I got on my connection flight, and I flew to Chicago, and then I got on another connection flight, and I returned not to Dallas, to Baltimore. So it was an hour drive from the airport to my house, and this jet lag is really driving me crazy. It's the past 2 days I haven't slept well. It's like I try to sleep at least 6 to 7 hours, and I was in my bed, and after 2 hours I woke up. I couldn't sleep, and I opened my, I was watching YouTube, to make myself to sleep. And I went to sleep, and after 2 hours, I woke up to go to the restroom, the bathroom, and then I couldn't sleep again, and so I feel kind of, exhausted, but it's really nice, coming back to this temple. And since this is a Shotsuki service, the first month, which is a time to remember our loved one who passed on, so I would like to kind of share what I did in Japan, which is during my stay. I paid my respects to my grandparents who passed away some time ago, and especially to my uncle who passed away last year. It was kind of a sudden death, and although they are not no longer with me, I have not forgotten them. And the unfortunate fact that my grandparents and my my uncle passed on never leaves my mind. But actually, that does not mean that I always think about them every moment. After all, just living each day through is trouble enough. So what is the meaning of visiting the remains of a loved one who has passed on? So in our denomination of Shin Buddhism, visiting the remains of one who has passed on does not only mean to visit the person who has died. The custom in our tradition is to cremate the body, but the common burial, or the graves, where we keep the ashes is not considered as the house of those who have died. And we do not think of the dead as sleeping under the grave or in the columbarium or anywhere else their ashes might be. Rather, we consider visiting graves and columbariums as an opportunity that was given to us to take a moment out of our busy lives and kind of reconsider about what is our life. To reconsider what is called the universal truth that functions inconceivably to us. And to say that something is inconceivable might sound like it means that there's nothing that we can do to understand it, and that is hopeless to try. However, that is not the case. For an example, as our denomination Shin Buddhism is based on the Pure Land Buddhism school, I once had the concept of Pure Land, as a place where we go somewhere in the sky after we die, and that the Buddha of infinite life and light was my savior. So once I was I thought in that way. Gradually over time, I became obsessed with the story of the Buddha saving me and my going to the Pure Land. I have never rejected this story, and that remains the case even today. But I think that in the past, I was just following that story and living accordingly. I just thought that the story, me going to Pure Land, being saved by the Buddha, was how religion works. However, I became to feel that for me, just to work accordingly, to be saved, and going to Pure Land was kind of a meaningless scenario. And I began to question and to think about the true concept of Amida Buddha and Pure Land, and what it means to me. So in the doctrine, Amida Buddha is defined not as a being, as a being that is the source of miracles. And Amida Buddha does not has neither color or form. Amida Buddha is the symbol of the universal truth. Amida Buddha represents the universal truth, which consists of such things as impermanence, causing conditions, interdependency, and the stress and suffering we experience results from living against that universal truth. We can comprehend the meaning of these words, impermanence, like the meaning that everything changes, and that those changes constantly due to innumerable causing conditions. And the word interdependency as a meaning that we do not exist alone. We exist only by the innumerable and invisible bonds. But its nature is fully unexplainable in human language and fully incomprehensible with human calculation. There is actually no exact, absolute answer to what the universal truth is. However, instead of living in the box, created by the story told by religion or something else, I try to gain an idea about the inconceivability of the universal truth and what they really mean to me, how they work in me, and what they are trying to tell me. So what does impermanence mean to me? Not just literally, just meaning. But what does it mean to me? What does cause and condition mean to me? What does interdependency, what does interconnectedness mean to me? What we learn from conceiving the inconceivability is that we may not have absolute answers. We may not have answers that so we could feel satisfied. But only questions. Just questions. However, those questions become important to us. It is by questioning things that we come to think about them, and through thinking about them, our understanding and our acceptance deepens. And in this way, we can learn a better way to live. So there's this, universal truth that surrounds us. And as I said, all the stress and suffering that we experience results from, living against attachments. And we feel, stress by living against that universal truth. And as we practice, our practice is the Nembutsu, is reciting the Nembutsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu is, a word that we vocally say. But actually, in a way, that Namo Amida Butsu, as we recite that Namo Amida Butsu, it is Amida Buddha, the universal truth, calling us, telling us to come back to universal truth. Life is impermanence. Everything changes. So as we practice the Nembutsu, let's all not just think that we are saying it's our voice, but also it is Amida Buddha calling us. Come back to the universal truth. So we need a place out of our, busy everyday lives where we can encounter and think about the universal truth. That place could be a grave, it could be a columbarium, but also it could be the temple here. Because it is so hard to, contemplate the universal truth all the time in our everyday lives, our few opportunities to do so are all the more valuable. So this moment is really valuable. It's really valuable for me as well. So please join me in Gasho. By reciting the Nembutsu, Namo Amida Butsu, we are always reminded what makes our life even more meaningful. Namo Amida Butsu.